My first episode. I'm so excited. We've made it past the first episode. We're on number two. My co-host, my producer, Rebel. You'll hear from her from time to time. She kind of keeps me on track. But this is something that I have thought about and wanted to create, and here we are. And so I want to really invite you guys to be participants in this podcast. We have some questions that we had from last time, and briefly, just the last episode, I kind of told you my story. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm the son of a Baptist minister. Went to Vanderbilt University undergrad. Went to Emory to medical school. Married my lovely wife, Ava Bell Taylor. She is a physician also. And I did OBGYN, and she did family practice and psychiatry as a residency. And we practiced medicine like we were taught until we discovered that uh, some of the things that my wife was going through and I, as an OBGYN, should have been able to handle, and I couldn't, or I didn't, it wasn't working. And so we started to understand bioidentical hormone replacement. And to make a long story short, we started practicing functional medicine, where we look at how the body functions and try to create normal function again. And we've been doing that for really the last 20, 25 years. We wrote two books called Are Your Hormones Making You Sick? And then we wrote another book called The Stress Connection. And I went around and spoke about those books for 10 years, and all the traveling wore me out. And so what happened is we just continued to practice, but now we're trying to get this knowledge out in a new way where I don't have to fly around and stay in hotel rooms. So first, we're going to get to the questions. And so you can listen to the other episode and hear more about me. But uh, I'm not important. What is important is the information that I want to relay to you. And so you can take back control of your health, kind of like we took back control of our lives and started practicing medicine a little bit differently. Uh, I want you to have that same opportunity to control your health and really to control your life. So let's go to these questions, okay, from last time. So last time, and this is the question I actually answered last time. It says because the first 7 years of your life, you're really programmed. And you're talking about blueprint. You're really programmed the first 7 years of your life. You're really hypnotized. Your brain is in something called theta waves. And that's the same brain waves when hypnotists hypnotize you. So for the first 7 years, you are just you are just developing a blueprint subconsciously. You are going to mimic what your parents did or whoever was taking care of you. You're going to mimic the environment. You're going to mimic the thinking. Just think of your religion. You weren't really you were born into a religion. If you were born into a conservative family, you're conservative. If you were born into a liberal family, you're really pretty liberal. And unless you consciously try to change that thinking, you're going to subconsciously keep doing the things that you were programmed to do the first 7 years of your life. So the way to do that, you have to become conscious. You have to become aware of what you're doing, and if it's not serving you anymore, you have to figure out how to change it. And that's what we're going to try and do here, because I was able to change my blueprint, and you can too. All right. So do you write the blueprint as we go along in life, or do we have it before we're born? Again, you have an original blueprint, but like with anything else, if you have, if you want to remodel your house and you want it to be new, you get a blueprint, and first you have to tear down the old cabinets, you have to get rid of the old appliances. And so there's a saying is that you can't create something from something. You got to create something from nothing. And so what you have to do is that if you have a blueprint that you don't like, you have to really destroy it. This says you have to kill your old self and you have to create a new self. Now, this is something a little bit off. Someone asked me, is that, do you find women think it's hard to be married to an OBGYN? Okay, I'm an OBGYN. I've been married for 38 years. So believe me, I don't, I stopped doing OBGYN in 2006. I delivered my last baby, did my last hysterectomy. So it's been a while. But during that time, believe me, business is business and home is home. So it's not hard to be married. You can, on a later episode, you can ask my wife. As the medical profession goes along, do doctors have to continue learning as science learns? That's what they're supposed to do. In medical school, we were told that 10 years from now, everything we've learned will be obsolete. And I've been out of medical school for over 30 years. So that information has become obsolete 3 times. And unless you actively try to learn and not learn what someone tells you, I told you in the last episode, I said medicine is about see one, do one, teach one. And that does not allow for any type of change. And so a lot of doctors are still doing what they did 30 years ago because they saw one, they did one, and then they taught one. And so that is a never ending, what I call caterpillar line. There's a saying I like to say is that when something is popular, so popular thinking, and the problem with popular thinking is that it doesn't require you to think at all. It's easier to do what other people do and hope that they thought it out. And so that's what we did in our residency. We just did what the resident told us to do, and we figured they thought it out. People smarter than us thought it out. Well, this is a concept I want to get across. Nothing is smarter than your own intuition when you are connected to your own intuition. And we can call it a gut feeling. I see patients who say, "Hey, I did this and something didn't feel right. I knew it wasn't right." And so you always want to go with your gut. And we're going to try and develop that connection to you and your gut or your intuition. All right, now let's go to the other. Now, what and when did we learn to become materialistic in life? And how can we change our thinking? Well, I think the consumerism started when we started to have credit cards and social media, because you got to think my parents never had a credit card. If they didn't have the money, they didn't buy it. Now everybody's in debt. And so we just keep buying things. And I really think we're trying to buy things to fill in this gap that we have, this disconnection from ourselves. Like I said, we don't really know what we really want. We don't really know what we really have the power to obtain or do. And so I think we start to buy things to try and fill in that void. And but when you really get connected to yourself, and I keep saying that, but when you really get connected to yourself and understand who you are and what it is to be human and what your real human needs are, then you can change how you think about this materialistic world, because what you see will pass away. What you don't see is eternal. Okay, so love and gratitude, those things are eternal. And we're trying to fill in this and this long for the eternal things that we need. And we're trying to find it in materialistic things. Where can you get our books? We wrote 2 books called Are Your Hormones Making You Sick? And we wrote this book called The Stress Connection. You're welcome to go to our website, www.taylormedicalgroup.net, and you can get it there. But here's how you can get the books. If you see scrolling across that school.com/ageless, that is a school group. And what that is that it's going to be an ongoing patient education. And we're going to talk about that. But you can go there, you can join for free for right now. And on that platform, when you join, you can download our 2 books as ebooks, and you can also download them as audiobooks. So that is my gift to you, to try and get you to start understanding balance and harmony. Because the first thing you have to do, I think, is you have to balance your body. And the one thing, because I'm an OBGYN, you have to balance your hormones. And so that's what uh, Are Your Hormones Making You Sick is about. The other thing is about being in harmony. So balance and harmony is what this ageless blueprint is, and we'll talk about that. But the other book is The Stress Connection, and stress will kill you. The stress that you know and the stress that you don't know, and you really need to understand stress. 70 to 90% of all visits to primary care physicians are for stress related complaints or disorders. Now, That was a study done 30 years ago. I'm sure now that it's probably 98% of all visits to primary care physicians are for stress-related complaints or disorders. So go to that school.com/ageless and you can download those books.